Good morning, everyone. The first nor'easter of the season is approaching, and this storm is expected to bring a substantial amount of snow. We are tracking a low-pressure system that is forecast to strengthen rapidly as it moves up the East Coast, and it will be capable of delivering a widespread snow event from Ohio all the way to Maine. A broad area is expected to receive 4 to 8 inches of snow, but the primary concern is a narrow corridor that could see up to 1 foot of snow if the storm tracks just right. Cities such as Albany, Worcester, and Boston are certainly in line for some of the heaviest snowfall depending on where the most intense bands of snow develop. In addition, this winter storm could bring a threat that the last one did not. This includes the risk of ice accumulation across parts of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and even into the Ohio Valley, and this storm will feature many of the classic impacts we associate with a nor'easter. We are expecting heavy wind-driven snow, which will lead to rapidly deteriorating travel conditions, along with the potential for coastal flooding and beach erosion near the shoreline. Snowfall rates could exceed 3 inches per hour at times, which would create near whiteout visibility and make travel extremely dangerous, if not impossible. So in this forecast, we will break down exactly what you need to know about this upcoming nor'easter and how it could impact your plans for the beginning of the work week. Now, before we focus on the nor'easter, I did want to point out that yesterday's winter storm was truly historic across the Midwest. Many areas, including Des Moines and even back over in St. Louis, ended up receiving some of their highest single-day snowfall totals ever recorded for the month of November. Over in Des Moines, they received right around 1 foot of snow, making it one of the top 5 snowiest days in their November history. And back in St. Louis, the storm certainly overperformed expectations, with many areas reporting around 8 inches of snowfall. To date, the highest accumulation reported to us was a little over 15 inches of snow near Fort Dodge, Iowa. Even in Chicago, the storm exceeded forecasts with nearly a foot of snow in some locations. If you have any snowfall reports from your neighborhood, please do let me know in the comments below. I am always very interested to hear what the snow totals were in your specific area. Now let's turn our attention to this upcoming nor'easter, and I would like to begin with what is happening this morning. We currently have some lingering snow falling across parts of Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. Later this morning, we will continue to monitor for some lake effect snow, particularly in far western and northern Michigan. However, this activity is expected to be very concentrated and highly localized. As a result, we do not anticipate much more significant snowfall today across most of Michigan. This afternoon and into the evening, some snow will fall in far northern New England, but generally speaking, no more than 3 to 6 inches of snow is in the forecast for that area. As we head into tonight and tomorrow, you might think things will quiet down, but that is not the case, as we have 2 separate areas of energy that are set to combine tomorrow. We will have some moisture and snow coming right over the Rocky Mountains. So that is one area of moisture, and then we will have another area of moisture moving up from the Gulf of Mexico. These 2 systems are going to merge into a single, more powerful storm late on Monday. Before that happens, however, we will see some light snowfall throughout Monday morning across parts of Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Nebraska. A little bit of freezing rain is also possible in far northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas, and southwestern Missouri. This is certainly a concern because any freezing rain or sleet could lead to some ice accumulation. Please keep in mind that it does not take much freezing rain at all for ice to form on the ground. It truly only takes a few drops for a glaze of ice to accumulate when surface temperatures are this cold. And that is why this is so concerning, particularly since some of these areas may not have treated their roadways yet. So please be mindful of that. On Monday afternoon, we will continue to see some light snowfall across Illinois and back through Kansas. A little bit of freezing rain will be possible in southern and central Missouri and also across northwestern Arkansas. This means there could be some ice accumulation in those locations. Late on Monday, we will begin to see these 2 areas of energy essentially combine, forming a much larger winter storm as we head into Monday night. Snow should become more widespread across areas in the Ohio Valley. I expect the snow to fill in across Ohio, Indiana, and northern Kentucky as well. Freezing rain will be possible anywhere from northeast Arkansas back into western Kentucky, while we will see just a great deal of rain across the southeast, perhaps with a couple of isolated strong storms. As we proceed into the overnight hours, that snow is going to become much more widespread, and we are anticipating heavy snowfall across Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio, as well as Pennsylvania and New York. However, it is important to note that this will be a very fast-moving system. This winter storm is moving quite rapidly, so overall, many of these areas will not actually accumulate a large amount of snow. The storm we experienced yesterday was much slower than this one, and it was also more expansive. This particular system will be moving very quickly from west to east. Therefore, most locations will only experience about 3 to 6 hours of snowfall. By Tuesday morning, that heavy snow will be blanketing the Northeast, covering New York and most of New England. In fact, the only areas in New England where I expect little to no snowfall are southern Connecticut, southern Rhode Island, and Cape Cod. There will be a possibility of ice accumulation in areas such as Maryland and West Virginia, and perhaps even in the higher elevations of far northeastern Tennessee. By Tuesday, around lunchtime, heavy snow will be falling across most of New England, New York, Pennsylvania, and far northern New Jersey. Then, by Tuesday evening, most of the snow will be winding down. The only remaining snowfall will be around and just north of Boston, back through Maine, and perhaps a little bit lingering in Connecticut. There could also be some light snow as we go into Tuesday night across the northern plains and the upper Midwest, but overall accumulations there are expected to be quite minimal. Now let us talk more about the potential for both snow and ice accumulation, and I would like to begin with our snowfall forecast. This is the latest forecast from the National Weather Service, and you will notice that generally speaking, we are not expecting a widespread event of over 1 foot of snow anywhere in the Ohio Valley. Again, this is a very quick-moving system, and it will also be relatively weak as it passes through the Ohio Valley. But I do think a reasonable 1 to 3 or perhaps 2 to 4 inches for most of Ohio and Indiana and Pennsylvania is a realistic expectation. There could be some localized areas that receive higher amounts than this, but across the board, the snowfall accumulation in these areas is not expected to be that significant. To be honest, I believe this could even be a slight overestimate, and I am not certain we will see quite that much snow. We will have to wait and see what the forecast models are showing later tonight. But I do think areas like Kansas City back through central Illinois have a possibility of a coating to 2 inches. A localized amount of up to 4 inches of snow cannot be ruled out, but overall it should be fairly minimal. Now the ice is one of the bigger concerns, and this remains a significant question mark right now. One of our forecast models, for example, shows a much larger ice event occurring from Arkansas all the way through Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. A scenario like that would almost certainly lead to school cancellations for many areas on Tuesday, but it is not yet certain that we will see ice that is this widespread. The official National Weather Service forecast is much more localized, with the main threat in Arkansas and also in eastern Kentucky and West Virginia, particularly over in the Appalachian Mountains where we could see a cold air damming event occur. But looking back at Arkansas, that is where there is a better chance for a glazing of ice, perhaps up to 1/10 of an inch. So please, if you are in Arkansas, be sure to stay extra weather aware on Monday because many roads may not be treated yet, especially the side roads, which means conditions could become very slick very quickly. I also believe the ice threat is probably not going to be as widespread as some models suggest. I think if we do see ice accumulation, it will likely be focused more in southern Missouri and northern Arkansas. We will have another video update, most likely either tonight or tomorrow, to discuss this in more detail. So please make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have clicked the notification bell so you will be alerted to that latest update. Now, the situation in the Northeast is a different story. I do believe we are going to see a widespread 3 to 6 inches of snow for most of Pennsylvania, New York, and New England. There will likely be some localized areas that receive closer to 8 to 10 inches of snow, particularly where those heavier bands of snow set up especially in southern New Hampshire, southern Maine, and also central and western Massachusetts. This is also reflected in the National Weather Service forecast. It is very similar to the computer model I just showed you, but it does highlight some more localized areas with higher totals, closer to 8 to 9 inches of snow, back over northeastern Pennsylvania and southeastern New York. So, to summarize, yes, there is certainly a possibility here for a significant winter storm. But generally speaking, this is going to be a very fast-moving nor'easter, and it does not appear to be nearly as major as what some forecast models were suggesting a couple of days ago. If anything changes dramatically in the next 24 hours, we will be sure to have another update for you. So, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. For this upcoming winter weather event on Monday into Tuesday, we are expecting at least minor travel impacts anywhere from Kansas all the way back into Pennsylvania and the Northeast. If you are in the orange-shaded area on our map, that is where moderate travel impacts are possible, which will be mainly across northeastern Pennsylvania. There are also a couple of areas such as Little Rock and back towards Fort Smith that could experience moderate travel impacts on Monday as well. That would be due to the potential for ice accumulation. So please stay tuned. We will have updates on our social media pages, including Facebook and Twitter at MaxVelocityWX. You can find the links to those pages in the description below this video. Now, looking beyond this upcoming winter storm, we will have a few more things to watch during the middle and end of the week. This winter weather event will move out late Tuesday and into Wednesday. One other important detail I want to point out is that this nor'easter is going to bring rather strong winds to the northeast. So as a heads-up wind, gusts around 30 to 45 miles per hour will be possible on Monday and Tuesday. On Wednesday and Thursday, a high-pressure system will build in along the east coast, bringing calmer weather there. We will see a little bit of snow across areas in the Rockies and also the upper Midwest. However, we do not expect any significant accumulation from this. We might see an inch or two, but that is certainly nothing compared to what we have been seeing lately over the last several days. Looking ahead to Wednesday and into Thursday, some snow is possible across the Northeast, although it does not appear to be a major event consisting of mostly light snow. Then late Thursday into Friday, we could see some severe storms redeveloping along the Gulf Coast. At the very least, flooding from heavy rainfall could become a concern there on Thursday and Friday, so please be mindful of that. And then as we head into Friday and through the weekend on Saturday and Sunday, there is a very slight possibility right now that some winter weather could enter the picture across the mid-Atlantic. We have a great deal of cold air moving into the United States at this time. For many of you waking up this morning, it is quite cold, and unfortunately that trend is expected to continue. So one thing we will have to monitor is just how cold it is going to be over the next few days. That cold air could set the stage for a winter weather event farther to the south later in the week, especially with so much moisture available in the Gulf. So that is certainly a possibility, but I do not believe it will be anything like what the GFS computer model is currently suggesting. Then, by next weekend and into the early part of the following week, the forecast becomes a bit more uncertain. For instance, the GFS model is showing another potential nor'easter on Sunday and Monday. Again, if that were to happen, we would have to watch it very closely, but it is simply too early to say with any confidence what will occur. I do believe one thing is for certain, however, we are going to continue to see a very active weather pattern for the next couple of weeks. Even though there is not another major winter storm in the forecast right after this one on Tuesday, I do think we will see at least 2 more before Christmas. After the holiday, things will certainly remain active through January and February, as is typical most years. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can receive the latest, most accurate details on all the winter weather that is on its way. Now let's talk about our temperatures over the next 7 to 10 days, which are going to be quite cool for much of the United States. Right now, we have a large area of cold air that is moving down toward our Gulf Coast states. It is going to be very cold across the Central Plains, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast through Monday and Tuesday. By Wednesday and Thursday, that push of cold air will move across New England. And then for Wednesday and Thursday, another wave of cold air is likely. This particular one will be much more noticeable for the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast on Thursday. So conditions are going to remain very cold across the Northeast. And by next weekend, yet another one is moving into the Northern Plains, the Midwest, and the Ohio Valley. It is likely we are going to see more cold air during the second week of December. This is creating a persistent cycle of cold air affecting the United States this month. This is certainly one of the more active starts to winter that we have seen in quite a few years, both in terms of snow and cold air. The Climate Prediction Center is in complete agreement that we will continue to see below-average temperatures across the Midwest, the Northeast, and the Mid-Atlantic at least through the end of the first week of December. At the same time, above-average temperatures are more likely than not across the Rockies, the West Coast, and also in the Southeast. Now I have 2 very important announcements to share with you. The first is that I am going to be on vacation for the next 7 days. This is my only vacation of the year, and it has been quite a while since I have taken a proper break, so I will be away for the next 7 days. However, I am planning to still have a video for you every single day as long as the Wi-Fi on my cruise is cooperating. I will be on a cruise ship where the internet service can be unpredictable, so I am not entirely sure what the situation will be once I am on board. I will certainly keep all of you updated right here on YouTube, and of course, if you see a video from me tomorrow, you will know that everything is fine and that I have internet access to upload our daily updates. That is the hope as of right now. My other important announcement is that these are the final days to take advantage of the Black Friday sale on our shop, Max Velocity. The web address is shopmaxvelocity.net, which is the top link in the description right below this video. If you use the code Black Friday, you will receive $5 off on any order of $50 or more. We have our new cheese curd collection, which features my cat, available in our store now. We also have our Supercell collection, Happy Holidays merchandise, and many other items. And as a reminder, if you would like anything delivered before Christmas, you will want to place your order within the next week or 2. That should ensure it gets delivered on time. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I will be back in the studio in about a week, but in the meantime, we will likely still have our videos every single day, just from a remote location. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you all again in the next video.